Hey everybody, I want to tell you about 3 fun classes I'm teaching at Stitches at Home in February, which is actually next weekend. I mentioned these classes when I was talking about where I was teaching in February in an earlier video, but I'd like to just talk about them again because there's some really fun things you can learn in these classes that I didn't mention the first time. One of the classes I'm teaching, and this is going to be on Sunday, February 7th, I'm teaching my Easy Fit and Sew t-shirt. Now, it occurred to me that maybe somebody's watching right now and they really want to make a t-shirt but they don't have a serger. So I just want to let you guys know that if you want to try to make a t-shirt and you don't have a serger, you can do it. You can sew knits on your sewing machine, and one of the really cool things that I found recently that's a little bit newer to the market is this wonderful Ceraflex thread. And the Ceraflex thread is designed to be used in your sewing machine, and it gives you a nice stretchy stitch. So I'm just going to show you here. See how it stretches? Very exciting. So if you were thinking about making a t-shirt, because I don't know about you, I live in long sleeve t-shirts in the winter. They're like my staple uniform. And I have a really nice pattern that's designed for women with curves. There's plenty of room in there. There's no dart. We'll go over some simple fitting things before we cut our t-shirts out. And I just want to mention one other thing. If you're really new to garment sewing and you're concerned about the fit of your tee, I'm going to offer mini one-on-one Zoom fitting sessions for students in that class after we're done. So I don't want anyone to feel pressured or feeling like they're not, getting the right fit if they know they have a fitting issue. Then I'll show you how to construct it either using your serger or your sewing machine. And then I will show you some options for finishing your neckline and hem. This is going to be a really fun class. It's on February 7th. There is a PDF pattern option for the kit, so you can download it immediately if you are worried it won't come in the mail on time. So that's the first class I wanted to talk about. The second class I want to talk about is Designing with Denim. This is a new class that I'm teaching, and I am so excited about this class. What you're going to do is you're going to go into your closet and you're going to pull out all your jeans that you don't wear anymore. I'm willing to bet you almost everybody watching this has a pile of jeans that they don't wear anymore. The cool thing about denim jeans is that once you take them apart, you can use them as fabric to either add to another pair of jeans, or you can even just salvage all of the fabric and make something new out of it. So I just want to show you. Here's my pile that I'll be working with in class. And you'll have the choice of either working on making a flared pair of jeans or a denim skirt. So we're not going to make the whole garment in class, but I'm going to give you all the tools and the plan and the design to create a look that you're trying to achieve. I'm going to show you all the ways to take apart your jeans. I'm going to explain how to pick the pair that might be your base, meaning the pair that fits you through the waist and hip, and then how to add to that to create all sorts of different options. So just to show you here, this is one of the flared leg designs I've been working on, and you can see I'm taking advantage of the original hem detail, and this flare on the inseam goes all the way up and through the crotch. It's very cool. So you can work on jeans and you can add flare to it. You can cut the legs off and put a different colored denim on the bottom half. You can make patches. We're going to play with all sorts of things. And then of course, if you'd like to make a skirt, here are 2 examples of skirts that I've made in the past, and you can see this is not your typical denim skirt where the leg inseams are just crisscrossed and the hole left behind is filled in, I can show you all sorts of creative ways to create a denim skirt that's a little bit um, out of the normal. So that's what the back of this looks like. And then I have a second one here I want to show you. Okay, again, totally different. Okay, it's got a different front opening. On this one, I made godets out of a side panel I had to add because these jeans were actually too small. So if you don't have any jeans that fit you that you want to salvage, I'll show you how to make them fit as well. So this is going to be super fun. And with your handout that comes with the class, I've got all of the written instructions to take apart and put together. And the one thing I want to show you here is we're actually going to take illustrations and plan out our design in class. So you can use these flats to draw style lines, add flair, whatever it is that you want to do to your jeans. And then I've provided the cut apart jean pieces, fronts, backs, and then there's a second one that's a front and a back that you can cut apart like paper dolls and put them back together to create your skirt design. Or if you want to use these pattern pieces to design where you're going to add your flair to a pair of jeans, you can do that. And then I have all the techniques for taking apart your jeans, creating godets and flair, how to sew that together, how to prep your pieces, how to do a lap seam. So some seams you're going to sew traditionally back together, and others you're going to take advantage of the original top stitching. It's going to be really fun. And then I have some skirt steps here to show you how to assemble your skirt and how to sew it together. And then finally I have a few, just some, pictures in the back for inspiration. So this handout comes free with your class, which is kind of cool. I'm not charging for it. And then finally, the last class I'm teaching is Break Your Serger Out of the Box. And this class is near and dear to my heart because it's the kind of class where after I teach it, I feel like I've helped people and given them the tools to use their sergers and either take it out of the box and use it, or to give people the confidence to use it. So with this class, you get an entire handout with all the detail showing all the different parts and pieces of the serger, different threads, differential feed, and then there are workbook pages that you can add to a binder and put them in page protectors after you make a sample. So I've got different pages for a bunch of different techniques, and I'm going to show you these samples here in a minute. First thing is I'm going to be using a serger, a basic 4-thread serger, and I'm going to be using it in class, this Bernina L460. So I'll be able to show you all of the specifics in terms of how to set your tensions, how to thread a basic 4-thread serger. I'm really excited about this opportunity because in the past I've used my Ovation, which has air feed, and it has stitch settings instead of individual tension settings. So I'm excited that I'll be able to set my machine up along with you using this serger. We'll talk about things like getting the proper cutting width and the difference between cutting width and seam allowance, because that's always a fun one. And then I have examples like what stitch length does for you. And so I've gone from 1 to 4 here, so you can kind of see what changing the stitch length does to your stitch. I've got my completed workbook pages here, and we'll do things like how to do corners and how to do curves. Okay, so when you're doing a curve, it's more about your machine settings and how you're managing your fabric to get a successful result. So that's kind of a cool technique. And then we're going to do how to sew knit fabric. And I don't know if you realized, but when you're working with your serger and knit fabric, your settings can change based on the direction which you're sewing. So for example, if you're working with a two-way stretch fabric, if you're sewing side seams that are going along the vertical grain line, you may not need to set your differential feed the same way as you would if you were going across the width of the fabric. So I have samples to show you, and we're going to be sewing that. How to do a flat lock stitch. That's my personal favorite stitch on the serger. Then I'm going to show you how to do a lettuce edge on a knit, and how to use differential feed to your advantage to sew sheer fabrics that tend to gather up when just by the tension on the thread. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to do how to do a rolled hem on sheer fabric. And for this class, or my sample for this class, is actually on a piece of tulle, bridal tulle. You can't get much sheerer than that. And in addition to its sheerness, it also has a weird stretch to it because it's such an open weave. So I'm going to show you how to use wash away stabilizer to do that. And then finally, I'm going to show you how to transform a piece of fleece into a blanket simply by adding a fun decorative edge using a heavy decorative thread. So if you're interested in really upping your serger game, or your serger is sitting in a box and you're afraid to open it, this is the class for you. So I hope if you're free next weekend and you want to join me for one of these fun classes, head over to Stitches at Home in February, the link's in the video below, and register for these classes, and you'll be able to spend next weekend with me. It's going to be super fun. I hope you enjoyed this little review of my Stitches at Home in February classes, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you again real soon.